Tabletop Spotlight, brought to you by Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy. Hey everybody, I'm AdamHarry from Belle Lost Souls with
Drake from Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy.
And we're back with another Tabletop Spotlight. Drake, this box I've seen, it's been missing in action for a long time. What is this game?
This is Mice and Mystics from Plaid Hat Game, finally back in print and back in stock. It is kind of a classic board game RPG mixing kind of thing.
Sure.
The twist is that the game will run itself.
Sweet.
There's deliberate rules, there's specific narrative-driven mechanics that allow everybody to play as characters.
Okay.
Not having to worry about...
So the game has its own AI built in. The players just show up and play. What's the background of this game real quick, too?
So you are basically playing as adventurers who have come to the aid of a dying king.
Okay.
His evil advisor, sorceress lady, who is secretly the one who's been poisoning him the whole time.
Right.
Imprisons you, and to escape, the wizard, Maginos, who is also a character, turns all of you into mice.
Awesome.
To escape.
So now you're mice in the castle, running around, trying to help the king break the curse, probably.
Yes. Defeat the sorceress, save the land.
And the whole point is that you are playing as mice in the castle now.
Yeah, in a regular-sized castle. Suddenly spiders are giant spiders.
Because you're a mouse.
Spiders. Yeah. Mouse traps, deadly, things like that.
And I do see there's a cat on the front of this box.
Yes, the cat, the sorceress's familiar, is actually the final boss.
Dun dun dun. Okay, cool. Well, I'm very intrigued now, so let's take a look inside this box. All right, man, let's take a look in this box real quick. And it's kind of hefty for a board game, so lots of components in it. Back of the box, obviously. I'm going to go ahead and do the honors, Drake, if that's cool.
By all means.
All right. So any cool stuff you want to tell me about the world of Mice and Mystics right now?
So this set, the base game itself, comes with a adventure book that kind of tells the story and sets the stage for the encounters and tells you how to set up the different kind of combats and encounters that you work your way through. There are additional ones that you can get as expansions.
Because it's been out for a while, it's just been out of stock.
Right, so this has the Sorrow and Remembrance story, which is the heroes saving the king. There's also Heart of Glorm and Downwood Tales expansions that add new adventures. The latter one adds new characters, which also is one of my favorite. The Warden is the best class in here.
Well, let's look at what we have right now. So we've got a rule book, obviously, which we will flip through here. But you can see it's all full color. Looks like 21, 22 pages there. Yeah. We'll go through that in a second. Is this the...
This is the story.
Okay, this is the one you're talking about, the Remembrance.
Right.
Okay, so all the details... We'll go through that.
It's basically the DMG for this, except you all are the DMG.
We're not going to give all the spoilers away on this one, but we will flip through it shortly. So, what else we got, man? Looks like the board and stuff?
Yeah, so these two pieces come together to form what's basically... Yeah, it's a timekeeper. So as you go through each...
Hang on. So it goes together like... Yeah. Boom, it's a clock.
And this is the initiative tracker and the countdown timer for... baddies to show up.
Okay.
Your decks. Your equipment and
stuff. I don't know
equipment and stuff. Of course.
Spells probably or something like that.
Scenario.
Okay.
And then the pages are like chapters in the book of the story that it's telling. Okay. And the longer it takes for you to complete the adventure, the chapter that you're in at the time, the harder it's going to get. So as this fills up in combat, pages turn and things get harder. And when new enemies show up, based on what page you're on, it'll kind of tier up the difficulty based on how long you've been. So there's no just sitting and farming easy enemies in the first level.
Gotcha. So this is the clock keeper. This is the AI engine, if you will, to keep the game going. Okay, so that's a cool little board. I like that. That's neat. And then I take it these are all looks like dungeon tiles or some type.
Double-sided room tiles.
Okay.
Through which you will navigate the
let's show them off here one at a time.
The castle.
Okay, there's like a furnace room or something. And then we've got this is probably like a bedroom, looks like. And some kind of like cave underneath. Okay.
Over the course of Sorrow and Remembrance, all of these get used. Yeah. Most of them you'll come back to at different times.
Sure, because you're wandering around the same castle, so it would make sense.
Exactly.
There's some cheese. That's very important. Got to remember that room.
Yes. Cheese is how you level up. Cheese is XP and cheese is mana. So you have to balance using your abilities versus getting stronger.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty tricky.
That sounds it, because like again, I want to use that cool thing, but if I save it till the end of the adventure, I might just get to
level up and get a whole new
level up.
ability.
Yeah, get some new abilities.
Yeah.
Well, that's very cool. Okay, so those are all the tiles. So good to know there. We've got some tokens to punch out.
Punch outs, equipment like the
What do we got here?
The hook and string. That's
Okay.
actually equipment that the party will use, and actually is kind of indispensable through the adventure. You need that grappling hook.
Gotcha, because you're a mouse, you gotta climb stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. And these look like effect.
Yeah.
So we have
condition markers,
charmed
stuff like
and
that.
stunned and webbed, which you're fighting spiders, so webbing seems like a bad time. And then we got the cheese. Gotta have that.
Mouse traps, cheese, poison markers.
Ooh.
Because venomous.
Oh,
spiders.
spiders. Yep.
Yep.
And then we've got the dice and the minis. We'll get to those in a second. We've got a couple other small decks here.
Yeah. So ability cards.
Okay.
Character cards for your enemies.
Just real quick, there's one. It's Thunder Squeak. It's kind of cool.
That's a pretty good one.
And then what? This enemies cards. This is Venestra's web here.
Mm-hmm.
So spiders again. We're detecting a theme here.
Well, you know.
We've got the
Spiders and rats.
encounter deck. It looks like.
Yep. And you see it tearing up based on what page you're on.
Okay, and that was the E.
Encounter.
That was the encounter on that one, not the.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Equipment. Gotcha. Is an encounter deck. Okay, cool. And then
That's the stuff deck.
stuff deck. There's what those cards look like.
Yeah, so a lot of equipment, most of them will start with specific
Whiskers
things.
Froth Elixir.
Then you'll kind of get random other loot as you go.
Okay. Oh, and then we've got the characters.
Yep, here are the character tiles.
So it looks like 6 different characters.
Mm-hmm. 6 different
Can you
classes.
take those real quick? Show these off. And they're front and back. So here's an example is Lily the Archer.
Yep.
So there's Lily.
You have her stats, then on the back you have her story. Who she is and why she's relevant.
Very cool. And these stats are pretty easy to read.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you've got the attack die there, or the attack stat, defense stat. I guess that's agility. It's a feather or something like that?
The feather is acumen, actually.
Acumen, okay.
It's intellect, basically.
Ah, okay,
Like
and
Imaginos,
then-
the wizard, it's got the highest.
Gotcha. And then the 3 is probably, the green's probably the movement or something
The
like
paw
that?
is speed, yeah.
Speed,
It's the
yep.
movement.
Cool. So that's Lily. Then we've got Filch.
The rogue type.
Yeah, very cool. Rogue type. And then Nez, the Tinker Warrior. Look at this guy.
He's pretty sweet.
He's the blacksmith of the party. You can tell he's got a hammer and an
He's-
apron.
He's really good, actually. And that's probably my favorite. We have Colin, the leader warrior, as well. He's actually the prince of this
Okay.
kingdom. Tilda, the cleric healer type.
Got to have one of those.
And Maginos, the wizard, who actually has a pseudo-dragon familiar who gets turned into a ladybug.
Nice.
His name is Sparks or something.
I like it too because they're all kind of color coordinated too. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
cool. And then real quick too, let's take a look at some of these minis. Oh, got to point this out.
Extra bags!
Hey, extra bag. I always love when they do that, just to have for the token bag or whatever.
Yeah.
So let's pull these bad boys out. It's stuck. Ah! Don't you hate when that happens? Fumbles around. Okay, here we go. Let's dump these out. So these are plastic.
Yep.
They look pretty high quality though.
Yeah. They look very good. You got
There's
your
one of those spiders.
spiders. You got your rat guards. Venestra turns her own minions into rats to come and fight you.
Well, that would make sense.
Yep.
You can't have like giant humans running around chasing mice all day.
That would just be too easy. It wouldn't make for a fun adventure. Bunch of cockroaches.
Right. I take it you're fighting them. Here it looks like the wizard character here. He's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's lots of little details on these guys. Like he's got a pouch or two and like tail and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's got his ladybug on his shoulder there too. It's
You
pretty
see
cool.
texturing from on their fur.
Yeah.
The cloth looks nice. It's really smooth.
This looks like the cleric,
Yep, it's Tilda.
Tilda the cleric. She's pretty cool.
There's Nez with his blacksmith's apron and big old warhammer.
Here's Filch, the rogue, the roguishly rogue, good-looking one. I don't know if you. Oh, dude, it's a centipede.
Quilt.
Check that out.
Striking centipede.
That's really cool looking. So yeah, there's a ton of really cool minis in here too. Just for what you get. I mean, you could pink these up, but you don't have to. Just play right out of the box,
I probably will.
right?
I'll be honest.
And then we have the custom dice too, which you could probably use D6s for, but it's more fun with the custom dice. So.
It's actually kind of tricky. I tried to do
Yeah.
that once, and just, you can get like a draftable quick little number
You'd
chart.
have to, you'd have to really write it out and then double check. Just use these dice; you'd be better off. So,
Yeah.
cool.
Basically.
Well, that's everything in the box. Let's cut real quick, and we'll take a look at the rule book. Okay, so we've got the rule book really quick. Just want to flip through some key things here. Drake, you've played before, so if you can kind of like run through with me, let's talk kind of combat real fast.
Sure. So how it works, based on what encounter card you draw, it'll tell you how many enemies spawn or are in
Right.
the room already
Based on the page
as
time.
you enter. Then to determine initiative, you take all of your character cards, not the full tiles, but they have their smaller cards like we saw earlier, and a card for all the enemies, all the different kinds of enemies. Like there are 6 roaches, for example. Here you get the one roach card.
Roach card. They all activate at the same time.
Yeah, shuffle them and then kind of deal them out in the
on the
initiative thing that we saw on the grandfather clock.
Right.
And that'll determine order, and as you go, it takes one, goes to the bottom, and move everything up, and it just cycles through that way.
So you can see when people are going next.
Yeah, it's not random. You'll know. Okay.
And you're not rolling at the end of every game turn or whatever. It's
it's very much like D&D or another RPG. Kind of determining, like, all right, you'll know ahead of time, but you don't have to control.
So this is where it happens. They kind of rotate,
exactly.
Kind of cycle through that way.
And as you go,
then keep going.
As you go through on your turn, you can move, use an ability, attack with your weapons, use your attack stat. If it's a ranged weapon, you'll use whatever it tells you to instead.
Okay.
Obviously, there's like the ranged attack skill that they had, the physical attack skill that they had.
So it sounds like a pretty straightforward system.
It's really easy to learn. There's very cut and dry rules about how the enemies move on their turns. So it's not like somebody like, well, I don't like you, so they're gonna go past me and hit you.
Okay.
It's very straightforward. They move towards the closest ally. They
have a set structure.
It tells you how each enemy moves, how they act.
Again, there's no game master. The game's running itself, so that AI is very clear, and there's no you can play it that way. So there's nobody's gonna pick on the mage or whatever to just take him out of the game or anything like that.
Right, exactly.
Okay, cool. And then these are some of the tiles. Are these random?
Rooms.
The different rooms, like, do they have special rules for each room or anything like that?
So in the story adventure,
let's look at that real quick.
So here's just an example out of the beginning of chapter 3.
Sure. There's 11 chapters too, so
this just the story that it comes with 11 chapters. Each one takes about like an hour or 2 to play through, depending on how thorough.
So it's a long campaign, but
but they are timed. So while you're in combat, as the rounds tick by, you add cheese to that wheel, and as it fills up, you turn the page, and you turn through the pages. It gets harder, like I said. Right. Each chapter will also tell you at a certain point when that chapter ends, how many pages it ends. Okay. Most of them are the full 9 pages. I think the first one is a little bit shorter. Most of them are 9 pages. Okay. At which point
so real quick, this is a tile layout. Like, can you talk about what's on the tile or what's going on there?
Yeah. So it isn't random. It'll tell you what order you go through the rooms and how they're laid out.
Yeah, this looks like a typical map here.
Yeah, so this is actually the map of everything that takes place in this chapter. Okay. But these are all double-sided, and you can transition from one side to the other by climbing up or down, usually.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's what the gray usually means. The gray borders mean that they're lower level, subterranean. You can see these are underground. And then the gilded
the golden
borders,
Okay.
Doors
are
floor level.
Okay. Because you're a rat or mice, you're under the ground.
And each room is a scenario. Each room is an encounter. And it'll tell you here, so in this room, there are this many different things going on. There's a special setup that you need to do. You also can take a story moment where somebody can be chosen to read out and narrate a fluffy little, like, this is what happens, to add a little bit of setting, to add that RP into the RPGs that this is so clearly drawing from.
Right. So it's a good mix. It's a good mix of board game, good mix of RPG.
With completely optional story modes. You can completely blow by the first bit. Because the first, actually, there's an epilogue in here. Or prologue,
intro and
before you start, just like, it's a good couple pages of setting the scene, and it's basically a grandfather mouse telling a bedtime story to his grandson about these adventurers, and then you play through that story.
Which makes sense, because that makes the page mechanic, the longer it goes, the closer it gets to bedtime and stuff like that.
Exactly. So. This is a fairy tale RPG.
Awesome.
In a box. That's a board game.
Cool. Well, this sounds really cool. It sounds like a lot of fun, and it's a really long campaign. So if you're looking for a good change of pace, and kids, awesome game for kids too. Sounds
exactly. Yeah.
So
for sure.
Let's hop out for a really fast recap now. So that was Mice and Mystics. Lots of stuff in this box.
One of my favorite games.
One of your favorite games?
Yeah.
Of all time?
Board games.
Top 3, top 2?
Top 3.
Top 3? For sure.
For board games.
For board games.
I'd say so.
I like the minis too. They're really cool. Really characterful. I like little mice. It also, like I said, it's a long campaign. So if you're looking for something that's going to take more than just a session.
You'll play different things for a good month or so, depending on how often you meet.
Right on. And the game sessions can vary from an hour to hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on. So
great way to get people coming back together.
And the other stats on this one real quick: 7 and up, 1 to 4 players, Who makes this game?
Plaid Hat Games. They don't have that many other things, but they do have a couple pretty big hits.
Right.
Dead of Winter. They also
Yeah, we saw that
same
one.
guys.
Cool. Plaid Hat
Same
Games.
production cycle, if you haven't noticed. $74.99.
Okay.
For this guy. The expansions are $29.99 and $39.99.
Sweet. But this is in stores now. It's back in stock
Again,
finally.
For now.
For now.
Hopefully we'll have it by Monday. But
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Anyway, this has been another Tabletop Spotlight. I'm AdamHarry from Bell Lost Souls.
And I'm Drake from Dragons Lair Comics and Fantasy.
Thanks again for watching. Tabletop Spotlight brought to you by Dragons Lair Comics and Fantasy. Thanks for watching.